In any industry, holding on to profitable customers is crucial to the business's success. This makes retention a key issue for any insurer, and in renewal rates a critical metric. Many factors affect the probability of policyholders not renewing. IBM SPSS Analytic Catalyst, which harnesses the power of IBM SPSS Analytic Server, can be used to analyze data on policies coming up for renewal, identify the key drivers of churn, and provide insights on how to reduce churn. In our demo today, this spreadsheet contains insurance data on a sample of motor policies, current and expired, for an insurance company. The exact data you provide to Analytic Catalyst will be unique to your business, but this data set includes demographics on the policyholders and their previous claims history, along with data on the policy itself and on the vehicle insured. The goal is to identify the policyholders that are at risk of leaving. I'll now access IBM SPSS Analytic Catalyst through a web browser using my login credentials. And now that I've logged in, Analytic Catalyst includes helpful tips such as this Getting Started box. Essentially, all I need to do is upload my data source, choose my target, the field you want to predict, and begin exploring the results. So let's close this box and work directly in the user interface. So first thing I'll do is I'll upload my data source. I'll click on the Browse button, I'll select the CSV file that I just showed you, and I'll click on Add Data Source. And after this data source is uploaded, IBM SPSS Analytic Catalyst lets me select the target field I want to predict. In this case, I want to predict churn. Now while the project is being created, let's review what I've done. Actually, all I've done is uploaded the data source and selected my target. Analytic Catalyst is now automatically computing all the analytics and insights for me. When the computations are done, IBM SPSS Analytic Catalyst presents a high-level summary of the key findings. The right side of the screen summarizes the characteristics of the data source as well as the key quality indicators. For example, a decision tree was computed for the target. Also, out of 1,035 key drivers evaluated, 28 were found useful for exploration. I can also view the entire list of input fields potentially available for predicting churn. The left side summarizes the top insights discovered across several analytic perspectives. Each insight is presented using a visualization and corresponding plain text insight. I can drill down on any of these for more information, but first let's look at some more features in the top insight summary. These top insights are ordered by Analytic Catalyst's interestingness metric, which measures how interesting or important each finding is, so that the most interesting results are shown first. For example, the most interesting insight here is the decision tree showing how churn is significantly influenced by age, months since policy change, and claim filed denied. I can also scroll down to see more top insights. To focus on a particular analytic perspective, I simply select a different item from the Show dropdown. I'll take a look at the top key drivers now. Whereas a decision tree typically includes many input fields simultaneously, a key driver focuses on one input field or two input field combinations that influence the target. Here I see that age is the top key driver of churn. I'll take a look at top field associations for another analytic perspective. Field associations explore the relationship between two fields and are more general than decision trees or key drivers in the sense that field roles, or whether a field is a target or input, are not considered. So for example, here I see interesting field associations between input fields. These associations provide insight beyond the analytics that specifically treat churn as the target. I'll return to the overall top insight summary and drill down on the decision tree by clicking the Explore icon. IBM SPSS Analytic Catalyst has now transitioned from a high-level summary to an exploratory mode that offers drill down to deeper levels of insight and detail. The first column shows a scrolling list of all fields in the data source. I can explore different sets of fields by selecting from this list. Because I arrived at the screen from the decision tree insight, Analytic Catalyst has automatically selected the fields that are in the tree. But for any set of selected fields, IBM SPSS Analytic Catalyst presents the most interesting results relevant to that selection. The second column presents these results as questions that lead to different analytic perspectives and insights. These results are also ordered by interestingness. The top result here, as expected, is the decision tree. The third column is where I can drill down into more insights and detail. Each top result is divided into three categories showing different aspects of the result. For example, the decision tree for churn is based on fields age, months since policy change, and claim file denied. Beyond the associations, these fields actually influence churn, and I can see that a shade classification tree was fit. I'll click the middle insight because I'm most interested in what influences churn. Analytic Catalyst now drills down into the decision tree itself. The interface focuses on the tree visualization and an expanded hierarchy of plain text insights. Many of these text insights can be clicked to dynamically enhance the visualization. Here I see the distribution of churn in each node of the tree. The root node, which contains all records in the data source, is distributed with 97% non-churn records and 3% churn records. I'll click the arrow here to move to the shade classification tree insight. This insight shows a profile of the decision rules generated by the tree. Each column corresponds to a terminal node in the tree, and I can simply read the input values down each column to get the predicted churn for each terminal node. The table's color coding helps to identify the decision rule predicting records that churn. This is the orange column. I can select this column to see the decision rule in the text below the table. If age is greater than 47 and claim file denied equals 2 to 1, and months since policy change equals less than or equal to 3 months, then predicted churn equals yes. So now I have the fields and values that most influence churn. IBM SPSS Analytic Catalyst lets me drill down still further to get traditional tables of numeric results. Here I see that this tree predicts churn with 98% accuracy. Because this is actionable insight into my data, I'll click the star to save this as a favorite so I can focus on it later. Now we'll go back to the column of questions and explore some other insights. Here I see that when age is greater than 47, there's a higher likelihood of churn. This insight is consistent with the results of the decision tree. And I can also explore other perspectives and insights here. To focus on the target field itself, I'll select churn only. This presents me with detailed univariate information about churn, but the second column also offers the question, what else is interesting about these fields? When I click that question, Analytic Catalyst presents links to additional insights about churn. For example, there's a link about the relationship between churn and employment status. I haven't explored this relationship yet, so I'll click it. As with the decision tree, IBM SPSS Analytic Catalyst presents 3 categories showing different aspects of the relationship. Here I see that retired customers have higher churn than expected. This is another actionable insight into my data, so I'll click the star to save this one as a favorite too. Now that I've explored the results, I'll return to the summary and review the 2 insights I starred under my favorites. This quick demo has shown that the customers most likely to churn tend to be over 47 years old with a couple of claims filed that were denied and with a very recent policy change. An additional result is that retired customers have higher churn than expected. A wealth of insights are hiding in your organization's data, but many business professionals lack the analytical expertise to know where to start or what to look for. IBM SPSS Analytic Catalyst revolutionizes analytics by simplifying the user experience and increasing accessibility so everyone is empowered to make better decisions while taking advantage of big data.